Everyone, me Kevin here. Let's talk about the latest regarding the current stimulus package, and then we'll talk about the future stimulus package. So if you don't care about the current, you can look at the little scroll bar at the bottom and you'll see where the future talk is. And if you care about both, well then just keep listening. And we're going to clear up some misconceptions in this video as well. First, the current stimulus package. Many states, and this is important to know, many states are still implementing their unemployment programs. It's ridiculous. This means that money still isn't flowing for the $300 unemployment boost in some states. Go to metkevin.com/tracker to see how far along your state is. Also, some people still have not received their mailed stimulus checks. Many fingers are crossed that they show up either tomorrow, Saturday, or Monday or Tuesday at the latest. If not by then, it might be time to consider filing that tax return. On rental relief, many counties ran rental relief programs previous to this new stimulus package that has already been passed. And so a lot of counties might, at the same time as having expired rental relief programs, be setting up the new rental relief program. So it's entirely possible that you go to your local county website and it says something like, rental relief is now closed. And you might be like, what? How did I miss out? Don't worry, don't panic. In many cases, this is actually just the old program that came way before the $600 check package that was passed right after Christmas or signed right after Christmas. That kind of rental relief money is just now getting out of the door to states so they can start distributing it via their programs, which maybe they'll reopen and renew those programs or they'll have new ones. So just stay in touch with your local housing departments. Always, my recommendation is you Google like your county name and then county housing department or housing and urban development, Los Angeles County, something like that, housing agency, rental relief. Try these various different combos to get more insight. Do keep in mind that Monica Crowley, the Treasury Secretary, stated today that $15 billion have been dispersed by the Treasury Department to states for rental relief today. It is January 15th, and the money's not going to clear probably until Monday, so let's be real. We're probably looking at, like we assumed, at the end of the month before we really start seeing that rental relief actually show up. A little unfortunate, but then again, Joe Biden is expecting that as soon as he gets into office, he will pass an extension of the eviction protections and foreclosure protections. Now, it's helpful to really quickly, and then we're going to get into the new stimulus and especially a lot of FAQs that keep coming up. Let's just do a quick little recap here, very fast. Remember, currently we've got that $25 billion for rental relief, but we're actually expecting to see that go up by another $30 billion because of the new program that's coming. Now remember, it's going to be state operated, so check your local counties and associations or realtor associations. They might even have information on this. Then again, that eviction ban will get extended. Now the actual money, remember, landlords or tenants can apply. It can be either of you that can apply. If you're a landlord or a tenant, you can apply. If a landlord does apply on behalf of a tenant, though, you will need the tenant's signature. So you want to maintain that positive relationship between landlord and tenant, no matter which side you're on. Just blame COVID. It makes things a lot easier when you blame COVID and not each other. Get through this and get your free money, okay? Now, do remember that the money goes directly where it is owed. So, for example, if money is owed to a landlord, the money is going to go to the landlord. If money is owed to a utility, the money will go to that utility. There is also a prioritization of people who are unemployed. So if you are unemployed or have been unemployed for the last 90 days, you get priority. Or if you are if you have a lower income, than 80% of the median income, you get like basically a big fat highlighter through your name. It doesn't necessarily mean if your income is higher than that you're not going to get rental aid. It just means that other people are going to get prioritized, which means you really want to apply as soon as possible, because if somebody else is slacking and they have less income than you, maybe you can get your money ahead of them. Remember, you can get up to 3 months of advanced rent and up to 12 months of arrears rent and utilities. You just have to prove that you have some kind of housing-related hardship, which could literally be as simple as being late on a utility bill. Now, if you've moved from that property, you can't get rental assistance anymore for something that you've moved from, because then you're not really at risk of being homeless anymore, because now you're in a new property. So keep that in mind. Generally both landlord and tenant benefit here if you're still in the property. to be able to claim your rental assistance here. Okay, so just balance all this out. Now, quick note, remember this, if you are a 1099 worker or otherwise self-employed, please apply for the PPP. When in doubt, apply for the PPP. You could use your 1099, you could use your tax return with your bank statements. If you don't have a tax return, you don't have a 1099, I mean, you should probably have a tax return, but apply for the PPP anyway. Look at the income you made last year, divide it by 12, fill out the application, give them your bank statements, highlight your income, and apply. Not only is this a free loan, basically, as long as you follow the rules, it's a forgivable loan, but you're gonna get a tax break on top of that. So, quick example, if you're paying about 30% in taxes right now, and you get a $40K loan, it's literally like the government's giving you around $52,000 in free stimulus money. So, PPP, you got a side hustle, and you had a side hustle before February 15th, 2020? I will not stop saying it. Apply for the PPP. And I don't want to hear but I don't have an LLC, or I don't have an S-Corp, or I don't have a business license. None of that matters. Literally none of that crap matters. You do not need any of that. You just need to be a human being who makes money, probably have to pay taxes, under the table money, probably not going to cut it. You're going to have to prove your income somehow. And if you're just cash and carry, that's going to be hard for you. But as long as you're actually making deposits to a bank and probably paying taxes, you should be good. I highly encourage you to apply. Another question, by the way, came up from Discord. Can content creators apply for the EIDL when it comes out again? And the answer should be yes, as long as you're treating your content creation as a business and you're actually making money as opposed to treating it like a hobby. You have to have the intention of making money with your business. And then, of course, you should be able to apply for the EIDL as long as you were in business prior to January 31st, 2020. That may change for the next EIDL round. We will see. It is expected to open up on the 17th. Let's go on to the second stimulus package here. So there are a lot of questions about this, specifically how this relates to, well, budget reconciliation. There's talk that, hey, you know, maybe Democrats are just trying to save the reconciliation process for the future, aka Democrats like Joe Biden are saying, hey, let's just try to get 60 votes this time, so that way, you know, we have the 51 vote option for the infrastructure package. Hold on. Big thing to remember. Democrats have 9 full opportunities over the next 2 years to use the budget reconciliation project. They got plenty of holes in the punch card, so to speak, to still punch out and do the budget reconciliation process. So it's not like there's like this massive urgency not to use the budget reconciliation process. Problem is, when you use the budget recon process, you have to follow special, stricter rules in Congress. For example, one of the things you might not be able to do is pass a minimum wage boost, because technically a minimum wage boost isn't a cost burdened or borne, I suppose, by the government. Instead, that is a cost that employers pay. The government doesn't really have any budget impact, and therefore you wouldn't have a minimum wage change in a budget reconciliation bill. Now, you can have a stimulus bill as part of it where you're spending money because that affects the budget. So it gets a little funny, but yeah, there are a lot of complicated rules around this. But remember, Democrats have 9 big opportunities that they could use here. So I'm kind of surprised so far Democrats aren't coming in swinging on this, like, hey, let's go, you know what, to the walls, so to speak, and get rolling on this stuff as soon as possible. I think I was expecting that. We'll see, obviously, how things develop here. Okay, regarding the rest of the American Rescue Package, some questions that keep coming up regularly. Let's clear these up really quick. If Biden's proposal passes, which we expect will pass in late February, mid-March, will adult dependents get $1,400 checks? Tentatively, the way the plan is proposed right now, and there could be negotiated changes, but for right now, the answer is yes. Will children get $1,400 checks? For right now, the answer is yes. Will ITIN spouses get the $1,400 checks if they're married to citizens? Right now, the answer is yes. Will PEUC and state unemployment benefits across the board be extended along with the boost? Likely, but we don't have an answer on that yet. Should you wait to file your tax return? Probably not, given that we're likely to see a delay in this next package actually passing. And I imagine they're going to just do another round of checks. Just make sure when you file your return, please put your address on there, put your social security number on there, and triple check that your banking deposit is accurate. Now, can Biden pass this with just 51 votes? kind of touched on this already, but I'm just reiterating it because it keeps coming up. Yes, but he would probably lose some of the things he wants to do, like $15 an hour in terms of minimum wage. Probably not going to fly. Additionally, the rent assistance program I discussed or described earlier will receive an additional $30 billion in funding, so that more than doubles the availability of rental money. We do have a little bit of insight from Bernie Sanders, which we're going to go to in just a moment, as well as we have an update from AOC and Pat Toomey on their opinions on stimulus. Let's just quickly get those out of the way, and then we'll go to Bernie here. So AOC is actually demanding that the unemployment payment be retroactive, be a retroactive $400. So you're starting to see a little bit of that divisiveness within the within the Democratic Party. AOC is clearly a Democrat. But anyway, she is demanding retroactive unemployment pay. She is also demanding that the $2,000 stimulus checks actually be $2,000 stimulus checks and not $1,400, which it added with the $600 would round up to $2,000. Manchin, a Democrat, says that this bill should not be more than $1 trillion, which would be cutting the bill in half. And Pat Toomey says that sending $2,000 stimulus checks would actually slow down the recovery instead of speeding it up, which is contrary to what both Bloomberg and Moody's are reporting, but apparently that's what he thinks. So we've already got some divisions here to deal with. We do have Bernie Sanders who's going to speak.
Yeah, it's a very good start, I think, very serious start. What among other things it does in looking at the pandemic, it says we need to make sure that we have all of the vaccine production we possibly can to make sure that we get the vaccines out around the country. We need to do a lot better job distributing those vaccines, getting those vaccines into the arms of the American people. We are not doing that right now. Biden's plan also understands that the economy is in shambles and that we need emergency relief for working families. He is supportive of another $1,400 on top of the $600 we provided in the last bill for working class adults and their kids, extending unemployment, making sure that small businesses are able to survive. So, we're going to have to take a lot of hard look at the details, but it is a very good start in addressing the pandemic crisis and the economic crisis we now face.
Okay, all right. So that's Bernie Sanders giving us an update here. And then one final note that I want to make here, in addition to, of course, you getting 4 free stocks with Webull when you deposit $100, and, of course, a free $30 when you deposit $100 with M1 Finance via the link down below, next to the link for life insurance. Joe Biden says he has a goal of administering 100 million doses of the vaccine within his first 100 days. That will be quite the task and accomplishment if he can make it, because over the last 30 days, we vaccinated about 3.3 million individuals, which is a rate of about 112,000 people per day. Biden wants to basically 10x this to 1 million per day, possibly more since he won't get to 1 million right away when he starts, so he might have to get closer to 1.2 million, 1.3 million, 4, 5, something like that per day in dosaging to actually achieve his goal. So we'll see what happens with that. Certainly, if his stimulus package gets delayed by 45, 60 days, well, he's going to be halfway done with his first 100 days in office before he actually gets additional funding for vaccine distribution. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, there's the update for now. Thank you so very much for watching, and folks, we'll see you in the next video.